second time in Poland. Second show, already sold out. How do you feel about that?
My third show.
Yeah, your third show, because you've been in Poland 15 years ago?
Exactly.
Can we first of all, like, thank Carolina that she gave you the permission to be here with us. Thank you very much.
Yes, Carolina, you're the bomb.
Awesome.
We heard some good stories about you with his scary eyes.
And
Chłopaki,
it's the first time that we are in Poland, and the sun shines, so everything is cheery.
yeah, everything is done for you.
Everything is beautiful.
It's perfect.
Okay, guys, so how do you feel before the show? This is gonna be a first time that I'm gonna be participating in the show as well.
Are you nervous?
I am, because I'm gonna be.
You should.
Yeah, from yesterday, I'm really nervous. Because, yeah, guys making fun of me from yesterday till this month.
We only make fun about the people we love.
Yes.
And we are looking very, very much forward to be on stage with you. We've known you for a long time. You've been coming to Rotterdam for a long time. You do some amazing work. But that does not mean we're not going to bust your balls. That's what we do. That's what you do in a barbershop, man. It's part of the whole culture thing. You know, you walk in, and if you're one of the guys, you can tell in a barbershop who is a regular or one of the guys because his balls are getting bust. It's as easy as that.
You're always looking for that guy who have the better story, right?
No, because yeah, pretty much. But you do not attack the ones that are not strong enough to have a good comeback. You know, banter should come from two sides. You know, and if you feel somebody is like really,
Insecure.
yeah, or not feeling good about it, you stop.
Yeah.
I mean, there are rules. You know,
too
there are
easy.
unwritten rules. But if you're friends, that's what you do. You know, I mean, if somebody. That's how you push each other further in a certain way, actually. You know, because it makes you think. You want to be sharp. It's cool. It's just a part of it.
Yeah. For
So you should be actually flattered that we bust your
I
balls so
am.
much.
I am. I'm sitting in my room and I'm not crying. Believe me.
What are you doing in your room?
I'm just watching Netflix. Netflix and chill.
Of course.
Guys,
Yell and down.
I have
Jelle and Daan's love baby.
I have a really nice question for you guys. How do you think and how do you feel about all the training, all the courses that are now available for the barbers? How do you think that make it industry better or worse? Because you know there is some competition, best fade, best pompadour, whatever. But I think taking the competition is a good way if you're a player for that, because you can learn some things. But I think it's not about the competition, but working together. What do you think about that?
I think that first of all, the barber game has changed so much, and some people get into it for maybe the wrong reasons. But who am I to judge? You know, I can imagine that kids see famous barbers now and think, I want to be that. And sometimes I think they think the way to become famous or rich is way shorter than the way you should actually take, because that longer way involves education, right? It's not just about learning that one haircut. It's not just about learning that one skin fade. You know, the more all-round you are, the more money you're going to make, the stronger the foundation of the shop or your career will be. See, knowledge is power. It's as easy as that. And the other thing, I mean, if you want to compete, yeah, it's fine. You know, I mean, a little bit of a competition won't hurt. But the thing that I see around the world is that, and this is the funny part, the people that actually made it, they don't compete. You know, because they are one of a kind. And the best way to get wherever you want to go, practice, 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 practice. And this is what a lot of people don't see, but I mean, I had the privilege to be on stage with some of the best in the business. And what I learn is that they open up and they listen to what you got to say, just as I'm listening to what they got to say. Because everybody's different, but you know what? Everybody that you meet in your life knows something you don't. And that is really a rule that we live by when it comes to education, you know. We travel and we pick up, and we learn and we evolve. See, because getting somewhere, you can get wherever you want to go. But staying there, that's what it's all about, right? And I don't want to disappoint anybody, But when you're talking competition and fame and blah, 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 you're thinking about yourself. And that should not be the reason to get into this business, because the main reason to get into this business is to make others look good and feel good about themselves. The moment you start forgetting about that, that is really when your career is going that way. And a lot of people do that. So look in the mirror and realize what you're doing it for. Because if you can make people feel good about themselves, you're going to feel good about yourself. The moment you feel good about yourself, clients will come to you.
That's true. Tell me one thing. Are you still going to be inspired by a new barbers? I mean,
Every day.
Yeah, you have school, right? I've been on the school a couple of times.
I want to say something about that as well,
Yeah.
because
I'm very sorry. Please leave.
we believe that there are no shortcuts. You know, a couple of years ago, I got like emails from people that wanted to learn the trade, and they asked me if we could teach it in 3 months. Now, like a couple of years later, I get emails, can you teach me in 7 days? And I think that's an insult to the business, like because you cannot learn something in 7 days, like what we've been doing for 30 years. You know, people they think maybe that it's all like natural, that it came to us like from one day to another, but we've been doing this for 30 years. We made like hours and hours and hours and hours. They don't see that we still like 12 o'clock at night, we're answering emails and stuff like that, you know? So I think there are no shortcuts.
That's true.
On the other hand, and this might be interesting in a little bit, there's a lot of young talent out there. But the game has changed also in a way, because barbering is not just about the haircut anymore. It's about videotaping, it's about social media, it's about photography, which is not easy, you know, because a lot of people get really good at what they are because of their skills with photography and how to handle those photos. And you should not underestimate that, because that is, to get good at that is also not easy, right? So there's a lot of young kids out there doing stuff that inspires me. That does not automatically means I want to do that stuff. But the thing is, after 30 years, this is the other side of the story. The more technique you know, the harder it is to stay creative. That is one to sink in for a moment. But we know so much about hair that sometimes our mind is kind of closed to learn to work in a new way. That's what I always love when you teach a new kid in the business. They don't know shit. So they look at it in a really fresh way. And that is really where the old dogs should look for inspiration, right? Because they look at it different. And we're all about, you know, baseline, connect. If you pull the hair there, you're gonna have length there, blah, 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 blah. But they just see something hidden in the hair. And that should be the base of everything. So there's a lot of haircuts on Instagram and social media right now that I literally go like, oh my God, if you would sit in the bar with that haircut, you are not gonna get a blowjob ever in your life. But that doesn't matter, because it is the fire burning inside of the person that made it that should be important, right? Sometimes it's about wearability. Now, we got an old school barbershop. For us, it's about the client and how he leaves the shop, feeling secure about themselves. But that does not mean that other people should not be creative, and it does also not mean that I should not enjoy the creativity of other people. That does not always mean I like the haircut, but there are artists out there which I think are brilliant, but do not make something I would hang on my wall. It's the idea behind it, see? And that is a whole different process.
Yeah, I think so. So it games, you still be inspired, and you're looking for new stuff in the new guys.
On a daily basis, man. On a daily basis.
Sometimes it's even like a student that never has done a haircut before, and they pick up like the hair on the way, and you're like, fuck, it's also possible like that.
Yeah, I think
So it's inspiration from everything.
this is the power of the education. If you're going to the courses or the classes, even if you know how to do this haircut, there's always like one little thing, one little trick that you can help you a lot. Like
That's exactly it. A good educator doesn't answer questions, he makes you ask new questions.
that's true. So guys, are you excited for tonight?
Freakingly excited.
So excited to be here.
I'm almost pissing myself today. Yeah, almost.
We need that on camera.
Okay.
Are you going to take it out first, or are you just trying to let
There
it
is no enough chocolate for that.
I know, right? Yeah. Dip it in chocolate. Okay. Oh, you are sweating.
Yeah, you are
Oh, me.
sweating.
I'm nervous.
You know what? I always get nervous, Delma. Always. But the main reason I get nervous is because, well, pretty much the same reason why you start a barbershop in the first place. I want everybody to have a good time. This is not about you. This is not about Lane. This is not about me. This is about the people that Poland, Ruzel Polska, invited, you know, and we want to give them a great time. We want to leave them inspired. And that is the pressure that's on. Well, I'm talking for myself here because I know Lane does not really get nervous, but we are different kind of people. But that is the weight on my shoulders. I want everybody to walk away even a little bit inspired. That is my goal, and that is what makes me nervous. But I got a great model. I know you guys have great models. Beautiful thing is I've been around the world 3 or 4 times now with Lane on a stage. So this guy relaxes me, and I can imagine that you're not really relaxed thinking about us being assholes, but you know, and it might happen, but see,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be just in between two most known barbers right now in the world. Nothing a big deal. Don't worry about it.
The thorn between the roses.
Yeah.
the rose between the
Oh.
thorns.
Around in the thorns.
Oh no, but this is the thing, man. We really appreciate your work, so we are not worried you're not gonna do it. I mean, we are looking forward to have you on stage, and you know, we are not gonna finger your prostate all day like, oh, it's gonna be so nice. We're gonna bust your balls, man. But we are looking forward to have you there. So there is literally nothing to worry about. And again, you know something everybody else doesn't, right? Just like everybody in the crowd knows something you don't. It's a state of mind. It's a state of mind. And a stage, you know what I always do? I'm always like, you know what? Normally you're behind your chair in your barbershop and you're looking at your clients waiting. Same situation. That's what you do.
I think the most important thing that you said is like you want to see people after the show inspired. I think even not inspired, but they need to looking for the answers after the show. I mean, because they're doing classes with me, they can go to the old school, see you guys how you work. And I always think in one thing is inspired, because there's a lot of barbers who are doing the same stuff over and over again, because the clients want this particular haircut. But they need to look for the answers. They don't know how to do some things. And maybe I think that helps.
You know, I cannot speak for everybody in the world, but what I always found super interesting about my job is that I started doing this for 30 years, right? And to learn how to do a haircut, it's really not that hard. But to master it, it's gonna take a lifetime. And that's what I found so darn interesting. When we opened the school, I found out that the hardest part is to explain stuff to people that just feels good. And you got to be careful with that, because the moment everything just feels good, that's how you're going to start working on your clients. And before you know, it's going to be like, next, next. See, and that is really the trap you're going to fall into in this job, because sometimes you need that one client or a certain training, or you know, to spark the plug again. Because actually in my 30-year career, and I think I'm talking for Lane here too, there have been moments that I was just bored. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. But see, the problem with that, it's in your head. You can fix it, right? It's the same story. Like everything you will ever be able to do with your hands or your brains is there when you're born, right? It's just the right teachers and the right experience to suck it out there. And then it's that combined with practice. So the moment you're in your shop and you're finding you're doing the same thing, you got to challenge yourself, you know? You call a friend that makes photos or something, and you're going to pick 3 models out of your comfort zone, and you're just going to try it, and you're going to see what happens, right?
And also educate your clients,
Yeah.
like, because a lot of people, they come in and they want the same because they don't know anything else. But if you educate your clients, that's what we did at the start as well. They didn't
Absolutely.
even know what an old classic haircut was. They didn't know.
And a lot of people
So
don't
we had
know
to
how
educate them.
they just don't know how good they can look, right? And if you give a client a certain haircut, the first time he's going to be like, fuck yeah, I look good. That feeling, right? Don't get them used to that one haircut. Show them that there's different ways to look good, right? But it's all here, man. It's all, every problem and every solution starts with yourself. I think the big problem is that a lot of people don't see that they're sliding into boredom. You just got to spark your plug every once in a while. I mean, we're definitely lucky, but we worked our asses off to get that luck. We forced that luck to happen on us. But it took us also 20 years before we opened the shop. You know, opening other shops, education, it's not like you sit and it happens, right? You got to work hard for it.
Thank you guys very much for this lovely
The pleasure was all ours.
for this lovely interview. It was my first time.
You did well. You
Thank
got
you.
some wet hands there, but you did well.
Yeah, but it's not
You're
as
you're holding it very professional
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
And how you kind of stick it in our face all the time.
Again, thank you.
It looks so-
Ballerina. Thank you that he is.
He looks so
it's-
professional.
It's good. You educated him also well.
guys. I'm looking forward to the show
Me as well.
that we're gonna do today, and thank you very much.
Awesome.